What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bolslake. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only, is Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, what's happening today, my friend?
Oh, I mentioned it just before we started here, but I was up really late last night playing some Game Pass games. Got to catch up.
Dude, you'll never catch up to that library.
No, there's no way.
No, but you can always catch up with us over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at Inside the Game Official. You can't catch us there, hit us up later, InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, coming up on today's show, DICE has pages of fixes coming to Battlefield 2042, which means the game just wasn't ready to launch. Mass Effect could be coming to Amazon Prime, and Harmonix gets picked up by Epic Games to create, you guessed it, music for Fortnite.
What?
It's funny. I was talking to my wife about this, and we'll get into this discussion. I actually think it's kind of I kind of think it makes sense, and I'll explain why after.
I have a joke for that, but I better not.
Yeah, I think what we'll do right now, though, dude, is we're gonna start with DICE. DICE is fixing Battlefield 2042's weapon bloom and nerfing the hovercraft in today's patch. This comes from Sharif Saeed over at VG247. For the first time since Battlefield 2042's shaky launch, DICE has put together a letter to players to recap what's been done in those early days and more concrete plans of what's going to happen basically in the future. I received this press release yesterday, and it took me probably 5 minutes to scour the entire list of fixes. Like, it was insane the amount of content that we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. If you were doing all that, then the game's just not ready, Scott. If you go to Battlefield 2042's blog, they list a ton of those fixes, and it is nuts. The blog post is very long, he says, but we decided to break the most relevant bits into separate stories so that they're easier to digest. The biggest news is that Battlefield 2042's second patch is expected on the 25th. While the full change log won't be published until later, we have a very good idea of what the fixes will be bringing. The most interesting patch note concerns the game's criminal random bullet deviation and weapon spread. DICE is reducing this on all weapons when zoomed in with your ADS, aiming down sights and moving. So the patch is also improving accuracy for stationary fire and decreasing spread for tap and burst firing when pacing shots. Last on the gunplay, the PP-29 SMG is getting a vertical recoil increase.
Yeah. That's one that's just way overpowered. Yeah, I've seen videos of it. Yeah, it's like Warzone, almost the same issue. You have a machine pistol, but it shoots at sniper distance.
So that makes a lot of sense. Tomorrow's update will also have a fair share of gameplay fixes, most notably addressing the bug that prevents players from being revived when near certain objects or walls or other geometry. Yeah, so if you go down, you're near a rock or a wall, sometimes you're just kind of glitched into it and you're stuck. I've heard of other people getting glitched into buildings. I played yesterday and I thought, man, I just want to get into Hazard Zone. Hazard Zone is my gameplay of choice for Battlefield. I was playing Conquest. Dude, I'm not a fan of Conquest. Every time I drop in, I'm like dead in like 2 seconds. Yeah,
yeah, no, it's because you get killed by the people who previously took up armchairs on the mountain.
Yeah,
that's the way it goes, but you got to learn your place, and Conquest is quite different.
No, absolutely. It's just not what I want to play. The Hazard Zone, for those who don't know what Hazard Zone is, it's 32 people on a map, 8 teams of 4, and you're out there to get data uplinks and then go to an extraction zone with those links. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Division's Dark Zone, and it's very
much
cool.
like Scavengers. I did a preview video for Scavengers for the show, and when I heard about this and learned more about it, it sounds almost exactly the same, but that's good in my opinion.
Well, that's just it, right? Like, I'm not complaining. I like this game mode a lot. It just varies on teammates. I would like to get rid of the crossplay because I do not want to play with PC players on my Xbox. There's a reason why you just get railed so quickly in that game, right? It's because of the crossplay. And it's cool to have that huge community behind the game, but PC mouse and keyboard, man, just doesn't compare to the world of a controller.
I think you can. I'm pretty sure you can disable the crossplay in your menu system somewhere.
In your Xbox, Scott. I went to look at it yesterday. Really? So it comes up. It is there to on off, and it says you need to go to your Xbox settings in order to change it through your network connection. I'm like, what? What is that? So I go over there, dude, that doesn't work. It does not work. So I'm stuck regardless. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
The only alternative, I've seen a lot of PC players say, well, if you feel like it's unfair, why don't you plug in a mouse and keyboard? That is an option that I forget about, but that's not what I want on my Xbox.
No, I'm there on my couch to sit back with the controller in my hand and relax a little bit, right? Not be in front of the computer like I always am. So I want to get away from that mouse and keyboard sometimes. But I have a game this week that is putting me on my mouse and keyboard. But that's for that's for a preview on Friday. When's the 26th? Today's, I don't know. It's coming.
Yeah, that's gotta be Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. So there, in 2 days, look for that preview on mouse and keyboard. But it's not even a shooter, so I wouldn't worry about that part. But either way, that's for something else. But dude, I'm having a good time. I was really having a good time playing Hazard Zone. I get there's a ton of issues. People are getting glitched on walls. One of my teammates, that's where this whole point was going. One of my teammates, we got stuck in a building and he had to grenade himself to die so he can move on. Like, it's just one of those things. So,
that's not how that's supposed to work.
No, absolutely not. Right? That's the last thing you want to do. But yeah, the amount of fixes and bug patches and this, that, and the other. Dude, it just went on for like miles. And I couldn't believe it.
It's bad. I tried to like block it out.
Yeah.
So that I can have a fair look at the game, but you can't avoid it. Eventually, some of it gets to you, and you experience it. I think I included the gameplay footage in the review video that Steve and I had done, where my camera is detached from my body, so I can turn around and look at my own neck. And it was weird.
So Nate joins us over in the world of YouTube. Says the genre is called Extraction Royale. Hazard Zone is a bare bones extraction real experience when you compare to the games like Hunt Showdown or Escape from Tarkov, and it's almost laughable. Give it time and it might be okay, I think, he says. And I understand that, but for
let's temper that. He's a huge Hunt fan, so
absolutely, he's a massive
he's not
Hunt
wrong
fan.
At all.
No,
but there's a little bit of a slight on there.
A little bit. I enjoyed it. I personally had a good time, and if you get the right teammates, dude, I'm in. So it's but part of me wants to go back to the Division 2, to be honest, but that's just me. But dude, let's move on to the world of Mass Effect, because Mass Effect series could be produced by Amazon. Amazon is reportedly nearing a deal, though it isn't done yet. This comes from Samuel Torbett over at Windows Central. Amazon Studios is working to develop a Mass Effect series for Prime Video, per a report from Deadline. According to the report, the deal nearing completion, though, isn't quite finalized yet. Amazon is working to increase the content available on Prime, recently launching The Wheel of Time. Dude, I'm about to check that show out. My wife started it. She showed me the trailer. I said, wait for me. I want in on this thing. It reminds me a lot of Game of Thrones, kind of meets Lord of the Rings. It's kind of where we're kind of at with this. Yeah, it looks really cool.
I need some entertainment here.
Well, that's the way to go, because this is based off the book of the same series with the same name. And my brother's read the books. He says they're fantastic. So now that they're bringing this over, I'm definitely in. It gives that definite vibe of Game of Thrones. And I'm missing Game of Thrones. Season 8 of Game of Thrones kind of sucked. So Amazon is also working on other video game properties with a series in development based on Bethesda Game Studios' Fallout. A recent trilogy compilation of the first 3 Mass Effect games, titled Mass Effect Legendary Edition, launched earlier this year for consoles and PC. That was from EA, but we all know how that went, especially if you've been talking with me lately, so we know where I stand on that one. But dude, the gameplay is where Mass Effect loses me on the first one, but it's never been the story. The story's been so solid, and that's the part that hurts the most, is that I can't get into the game because I want to follow the story, but the gameplay just has that huge wall in front of me, and I'm not able to kind of keep going with it. Now, if they bring this over in a series, dude, I'm in. Like, I really want to check this out.
Yeah, it's such an awesome, just really big universe that they created. If there's plenty of room for other forms of media. I think of Halo and how it has the whole book series behind it.
Yep.
And that could absolutely work in Mass Effect. But I think a serialized TV show would be even better. A short series, 50 episodes long, you focus on Shepard, maybe some prelude to the game series. Right. There's a whole lot of options out there. And basically, I have confidence that any of that would be great. Immediately when I first saw the headlines to this, I thought, what if Amazon's getting the video game series? They're going to create the new video game trilogy, and I thought that could be really cool, but it's only going to be one title long.
Well, that's I didn't think it would be the game Amazon Games working on anything for them, because it is such a beloved EA property that BioWare and EA don't want to give it up, right? That's the biggest thing. They want to hold on to that. But if somebody wants to produce a television show, a movie, something based off of the franchise, then yeah, I think they'll be more than glad to do that. And like you say, right? Like if you go looking for them, dude, there's novels on Mass Effect as well. There's comic books on Mass Effect. So there is a lineage there already in the paper world. It's funny how the paper world is it's still there, but it's far and few between, I think. But either way, it's still there for your reading pleasure. But now they're going to get into the video side of things too. And it just expands the Mass Effect universe. It opens it up to other people's and other eyes. And when you get into this, you start watching this. If they make it a television series, how many people do you think are going to jump over and go, oh man, the legendary edition set, I'm gonna go pick that up too, right? We saw the same thing when The Witcher dropped, right? The Witcher series dropped. Man, the minute I saw that and we finished it, I'm like, I want to go play The Witcher, but I also know that The Witcher's coming out the next gen, and I want to wait.
Oh no, it's great to have that cross pollination though, because it just inspires. It's a bigger net they're casting out, and there might be a lot of people just like yourself that kind of were pushed away by the early game and just couldn't get into it. So it's a good opportunity for anybody, really. I stick to that. I think everybody should play Mass Effect if you enjoy any sort of science fiction.
No, for sure. It's fantastic. Nate loves it. Everybody loves it that you talk to. You just got to get past that first game, and I can't do it, man. It's, oh, well, either way. Dude, let's move on, because Harmonix, that was weird, is joining Epic Games family. Yeah, this comes from the Harmonix blog. Exciting news for Team Harmonix today. As is just announced that we're joining the Epic Games family. This is a monumental day for the team, and one that wouldn't have been possible without years of support from you, our fans. Thank you. Over the last 26 years, we have pushed ourselves to redefine how people experience interact with music. From the earliest days of the Axe to Guitar Hero, Rock Band, Dance Central, our VR titles as well, and Fuser. Dude, they've been around a long time, but now they're joining the world of Epic Games. They had a whole question scenario list, and what happens now to Rock Band? What happens to this game? What happens to essentially nothing's happening. But there was one question that popped up in their little feed on the blog. It said, what will Harmonix team work on next? Well, you guessed it, right? Our team will work with Epic to create musical journeys and gameplay for Fortnite. While we're not ready to share any specifics, the whole team is incredibly excited to get started. Stay tuned. Now, Scott, at the top of the show, I said this to me makes a lot of sense, because when's the last time you played a musical game?
Yeah, I actually looked up the Harmonix series that they've worked on and just trying to see when their last title was, because I was thinking, well, it's been a while.
Fuser, right?
Rock Band, Guitar Hero, but yeah, it is Fuser, and that was in 2020. So they are more active than I expected. But,
well, that's just it. But I think a lot of us refer to Harmonix as Rock Band, right? Like that's, dude, I have my guitar is like over there. My drums are out in the garage. Like I had the whole set, and I had the DLC, and I had it all. But that was also on my PS3. We're now on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I just thought about that. That was 13 years ago I got.
That's just it.
Rock Band 2, I think it was.
It was so long ago when we were doing this stuff, right? And it was cool at the time, but now we're moving forward. And the more Harmonix sticks around and try to reinvent the wheel a little bit, because I just don't see a lot of people gravitating over there, at least not in my social feeds. And I'm keeping an eye on them because Harmonix is such a cool company. And for them now to get purchased by Epic Games makes some of the most incredible pieces of content I've ever seen in a video game. Dude, you cannot see a digital concert without thinking of Fortnite and checking their stuff out. I've never experienced anything like it, because they're just...
We're touching on the joke that I wanted to make at the beginning. I hope this combination, this partnership, I hope it results in a better time than the Travis Scott concert.
Oh, yeah. No, for
Let's
sure.
keep those digital only.
Yeah, right. Nate posts over here, Fortnite rhythm game. Here we feel like licensing, and it could be a nightmare. It could be a nightmare, but dude, it's Harmonix, and it is Epic Games, and they honestly, whether you like Fortnite or not, it's still a juggernaut of a title. It is still making headlines all the time. It has great content there for the fan base, the core fan base that is still stuck around. We all jumped on it at one point or another, and just a lot of us now have just moved on, right? That's the biggest thing, is we've transitioned into other stuff, but a lot of people are still there. I know my kid is still there, so he loves Fortnite, which is cool. But you get into the concerts, and they're bringing in some of the biggest names you've ever seen in the entire world. Like, it's not just our industry that they're bringing in names for. Like, they got Ariana Grande is there, LeBron James, like anybody can go there and they'll bring him in. And now you partner with Harmonix, one of the best musical companies in our industry. You put those two together, what's the next concert going to be? Like, we're already blown away with what they can do. Now with the addition of this team, where does that elevate Fortnite? And then I'm excited to see where it goes. But again, like, I'm not a big Fortnite. I don't want to build and then get shot and that kind of stuff. But for me, it's a cool acquisition.
Building those towers 1,000 cubes into the sky in a moment's notice is just that's kind of where I fall off.
Yeah,
but I enjoy it otherwise.
No, for sure. Yeah, it's just not for me. But dude, what isn't for me either is because I tried to get it and just couldn't get it. It was the Xbox mini fridge, which apparently is loud and annoying.
No! I thought it was, but it's not a PlayStation fridge.
Oh, dude, my PS4 was like a jet engine. Yeah,
I have to reference that anytime it comes up. Yeah, I'm familiar with that roar.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was so loud, that fan and that thing. This comes from Gabe Gruen over at GameSpot. The Xbox mini fridge officially released this week, bringing next-gen style to your drinks and snacks for, he says, $100. Dude, I looked it up. It was like $300 here Canadian. I didn't see it for $100. So you get what you pay for. However, in the case of the Xbox mini fridge, that means a cooler that is so loud it's maddening in most setups, which is too bad. He says, I got mine out of the box, excited at the profoundly stupid thing I had pre-ordered and set it up. Dude, you got like a big squeal going on with your microphone right now, Scott. I'm not sure what's happening there.
I think that's my cat slapping something around.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I can just hear it in the background. Okay. He says, I plugged it in, which was itself a challenge, as if the plug did not want me to experience what was coming next. I turned on the lights and laughed. Then I flipped the cooling switch and recoiled in horror as the sound of a jet engine erupted from the tiny fridge. Ouch. Which is too bad, because I really wanted one of these things, because I think it looks super cool. It would have been awesome to have. But apparently it is super, super loud.
Oh, yeah, that's a shame. And you never consider sound with a fridge, but my house, my cat is really
That is your cat. I get
the fridge in my house, I like to yell at it sometimes because it sounds like it's laughing. And I know how weird that sounds, but it just makes a weird chuckle noise.
Okay.
So I can imagine if it had the power of a diesel engine behind it.
Oh, it's just funny. Dude, let's keep the conversation going with Xbox, because the study the history of Xbox and your own gaming past in the Xbox 20th Anniversary Museum. This comes from Sean over at Windows Central. To celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Xbox family of consoles, Microsoft launched a virtual museum. You can explore the museum as a customizable avatar to browse through the history of Microsoft's consoles. In total, there are 132 points in the history of Xbox to explore, including exhibits about the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, and the Xbox Series S. The whole family of Xbox. Inside the virtual museum, you can customize the color of your avatar and its style. There are choices for X, Y, A, and B. You can run around the exhibit with the WSAD keys. Yeah, or arrow keys if you're so inclined. You can browse. You'll see other people within the multiverse as well, which is kind of cool. When you see an exhibit that piques your interest, you can click on it to find out more. Many of them feature videos for a deep dive into the moments of Xbox history. Here's the other thing too, though, Scott. If you log in to the Xbox 20th Anniversary Museum with your Microsoft account, you'll see your own personal history including the first.
Oh, that's cool.
Exactly, including the first ever game you played, the first achievement you earned, and which games you've played the most throughout the years. That's pretty exciting for me. I'm checking this out. Are you gonna take a look at it, Scott?
Oh, I absolutely am. I've seen a little bit of footage from Italian 86. Or sorry, Stallion 86. Okay. He's changed his gamer tag a few times, but that he looked at his own record. He's the first person to ever cross 1 million gamer score.
Oh, nice.
And I look up to him in a way.
No, absolutely.
I'm far from, I think he's at 2 million something now, but he's got his own, dedicated place in this program, and you can go visit it. He went and visited his own record. How cool is that?
Oh man, that is exciting, isn't it?
This makes me think of PlayStation Play, was it? No, Home.
Oh, PlayStation Home. Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of PlayStation Home, but of course green branded. But if you had a hotel room in here with your stuff, then it's starting to sound more like PlayStation Home.
No, that's really cool. I'm definitely going to jump in. We're going to take a look at it, and we'll talk about it in the near future. What we all had there as our first title for Xbox. Scott, why don't we wrap things up? What game announcements and releases do we have for today?
We have the psychological thriller Martha is Dead. Sounds like my kind of game already. Confirmed onto the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and that will launch on February 24th this upcoming year. We also have some games for gold. Just trying to get through here. Sorry, there's a lot of information. Sorry, it looks like there is some sales going on with the games of gold.
Yes.
And there is The Escapist 2 for $19.99, and that's available for all of December. And then we have Tropico 5, the penultimate edition. That is for $24.99, available December 16th to January 15th. A little bit of an awkward window there.
Yeah.
Orcs Must Die. I think you're familiar with this series.
Absolutely.
That's $14.99. That's available for the first half of December. And then Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet. Oh, that's a curious name. That is $9.99, available the second half of December.
Dude, those are some old titles. Like, I'm always curious to see what we get with Xbox Gold next, right? And that's the biggest thing. What kind of value are people still getting? Obviously, in order to play online for Xbox, you need to have Xbox Gold. But at the same time, we all gravitated towards gold because A, we wanted to play online with our friends. B, we wanted free games. And now I kind of look at some of these games going, well, that's a bit of a weak month. But hey, we have Game Pass, right? So that's the other side of it now is we take a look further. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, you're going to probably be able to, well, you'll get these games because then you'll be in the full library of Xbox, the whole ecosystem. You'll have online. Like, there's so many other things. They've really expanded their network, Scott, as an Xbox brand from gold, from the early days to where we see them now. It's pretty cool to see. Anything here kind of pique your interest?
The Escapist 2 definitely has to take the nod on my part.
Absolutely.
I love the first game. I played a lot of the second one. Roommate and I used to kind of compete because while you're the escapist, you break out of a prison, and that's the whole game, and it's so good.
That is cool. Scott, that's going to be the whole show. That's it for today, everybody. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew, that's Scott, and we'll see everybody tomorrow inside the game.